Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be reviewing the DualSense PS5 controller. I cannot wait to get my hands on one of these because it has so much new features compared to the old PS4 controller. So guys, without further ado, let's go through this.
PlayStation.
The DualSense PS5 controller is the next-gen gamepad we'll be using for the PlayStation 5. When the next generation console launches in November 12, 2020 for certain countries like the US and Japan, and November 19th for the rest of the world, including the UK. Revealed by Sony earlier this year, the PS5 controller looks dramatically different from the company's previous gamepad designs, sporting a new futuristic look, a white and black, two-tone color scheme, and a more boomerang-like shape that has divided fan option. But regardless of whether you love or hate the way it looks, the DualSense controller has some fantastic sounding immersion enhancing features that we can't wait to get our hands on, such as adaptive triggers, haptic feedback, a built-in microphone and a mute button, and a new create button that replaces the PS4 share button. The formal reveal of the DualSense controller confirmed what we've heard about the PS5 control features for a while, and it's increasingly clear that the controller has been designed with the aim of improving player immersion. In the PS5's first TV advert, there are real focus on immersive gameplay, showcasing some of the benefits the DualSense features will have for players. Here are all the features we know about so far. Haptic feedback will replace the DualShock's 4 rumble technology. While the rumble technology seen in the PlayStation 4 controller vibrates intensely during particular in-game events, it wasn't particularly fine-tuned to the player's experience. Haptic feedback simulates touch, meaning the controller will output vibrations or movements to replicate a real-life touch experience. This aims to improve the controller's feedback and therefore player's immersion. In an interview with Business Insider Japan, CIE CEO Jim Ryan said, 3D audio and the haptic feedback support of the controller are also things that, when you try them, you will be surprised at how big a change they are. Even just playing the racing game Gran Turismo Sport with a PlayStation 5 controller is a completely different experience. Developers have been speaking out more recently about the ways in which haptic feedback is making a difference in their games. Most recently, in an official PlayStation blog post, some first-party studios were detailing how players can expect it to make a difference to gameplay. According to Brian Horton, the creative director of Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, the haptic feedback precision allows us to do all sorts of new things. In Miles Morales in particular, we'll be hinting to players which direction attacks are coming from by providing haptic feedback from the appropriate direction of the DualSense wireless controller. What does it feel like to use Miles' stealth ability? How does a Venom Blast feel? Because of the high resolution of the DualSense wireless controller's haptic system, we can really push the dimensionality of the feedback. For instance, as you hold down square to do a Venom punch, you feel Spider-Man's bioelectricity crackle across from the left side of the controller, humiliating on the right side on impact. Haptic feedback won't just be something that the first-party developers can easily make use of either. In Sony's company-wide Technology 2020 report, one of Sony Interactive Entertainment's research and development engineers, Yukari Kanishi, has acknowledged that haptic feedback requires a certain level of technical expertise and time to implement. However, the third-party developers make as good use of this feature as first-party developers. Kanishi has developed a solution, writing that to reduce this burden, we have created a haptic vibration waveform design environment that anyone can use easily. In this way, we have not only developed a tool that allows game creators to design an impactful, natural, and comfortable vibration waveform in fewer steps, but also created a method of almost automatically generating vibration patterns from a game's sound effects. This means that it will be essentially automate the generation of high-quality vibration waveforms to a certain extent, making it look as if they were created manually by the creators. The PS5 controller will also feature adaptive triggers, which Sony says have been incorporated into the trigger buttons L2 and R2. These adaptive triggers will allow developers to program the resistance of the triggers to simulate actions more accurately. We've heard quite a lot from developers on how haptic feedback is being used, but in a recent PlayStation blog post, we also got a little insight into how the controller's adaptive triggers will be used. According to the game director for first-person shooter Deathloop, adaptive triggers will bring some physicality, in-game experiences, and give important feedback. In Deathloop in particular, the developer is doing a lot of things to make weapons feel differently from one another. One especially neat feature is that the adaptive triggers will be blocked when a player's weapon jams, to give the player an immediate feedback, even before the animation plays out, which prompts the player in a physical way that they have to unjam their gun. Kazunori Yamauchi, president at Polyphony Digital, has also noted that in Gran Turismo 7, the adaptive triggers have been very effective for representing the operation of the anti-lock brake system, aka ABS, while braking. A typical ABS releases brake pressure intermittently while the driver applies pressure to the pedal. The adaptive trigger is suited for recreating the pedal feel, and it will allow the player to accurately feel and understand the relationship between the braking force they want and the tire's grip. Marcus Smith, creative director at Insomniac Games, has said that the adaptive triggers will be used in Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart 2. Using the example of the double-barreled shotgun, the Enforcer, Smith says that as you pull the trigger, you'll fire from one barrel and you can feel resistance around halfway down the trigger. And if you're looking for a bigger blast, you can pull the trigger through that resistance point and you'll fire both barrels at the same time. There's no share button on the DualSense controller, but there is a create button, and it will perform the same function and more. We're once again pioneering new ways for players to create epic gameplay content to share with the world, or just to enjoy for themselves, is how Sony describes it. Expect more on this as we get closer to launch. The PS5 controller will still feature an audio jack too, so you can just plug in your own headphones and headsets. The DualSense controller will also include a built-in microphone, and Sony says you'll be able to use this to talk with your friends online without using the use of a gamepad. Of course, for folks who still want to use one, Sony says it will still support them. The DualSense PS5 controller's design is a huge departure from previous PlayStation controllers. The gamepad sports a futuristic minimalist design with a shape that's more similar to the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. The PS5 controller design reveal included some of what the leaks predicted: adaptive shoulder button triggers with haptic feedback, a built-in microphone so you can talk to friends without having to wear a headset, and a new create button that replaces the PS4 share button. Now that more images of the controller have been released, however, those rumors of exciting features on its back have been put to bed. The DualSense has no back buttons, paddles, or triggers. Instead, all that's visible is a trademark Sony logo, a pin-sized hole to reset the controller, and another small hole which has no use for now. Sony has said that the team made sure to maintain a strong battery life for the DualSense's rechargeable battery, and to lessen the weight of the controller as much as possible as new features were added. In hands-on with the DualSense that was a very light when it comes to new information, Geoff Keighley did say that the DualSense has more heft to it, but ultimately feels more sturdy than its predecessors. In addition, Sony has moved the DualShock 4's LED light bar from the top of the controller to the surrounding of the touchpad on the PlayStation 5. It's supposed to give the LED strip a larger look and feel, according to the company. What's interesting and divisive is the DualSense two-tone color scheme that's black and white and devoid of color on the face buttons. Triangle, circle, square, and cross or X are still here, but they don't sport their usual hues. Sony says that this is a radical departure from our previous controller offerings and captures just how strongly we feel about making a generational leap with the PS5. The black and white design is likely to extend to the PlayStation 5 console, which is different than the usual black color Sony has chosen for its console launches since the PS2. But expect Sony to produce all kinds of colors in the years after release, as we've seen with every PlayStation controller going back to the PS1. Including limited edition controllers, there are more than 30 different PS4 controller colors. There's no reason to expect anything different with the PS5 controller color options, but they'll likely come a while after launch, with PlayStation worldwide marketing boss Eric Lempel telling Geoff Keighley via Games Radar that they will talk about that at some point, as it's a hard enough job to get the unit already revealed out. As mentioned previously, the DualSense PS5 controller's look has been revealed, and we've learned that the controller will incorporate haptic feedback, while the L2 and R2 buttons have adaptive triggers. Full specs for the DualSense are not yet to be revealed though, including the battery life of the controller. So guys, that's another review. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel today. And please let me know in the comment section what you think about the controller and what's your favorite part about it. So guys, I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.